Every morning, the most powerful man in the world woke up and reminded himself that he was going to die. Not in a dark way, not in despair. He did it the way you might check the weather before you leave the house. A simple, steadying fact. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire that stretched from the cold rivers of Britain to the deserts of Egypt. Millions of lives bent around his single word. He could have anything, punish anyone, believe any flattering thing his court whispered to him. And he knew exactly how dangerous that was, because he had watched it happen to other men. Power has a way of rotting a person quietly from the inside until one day the kind young ruler is a tyrant and cannot even remember the moment he changed. So Marcus did something strange for an emperor. At night, alone, by lamplight, he wrote little notes to himself, not speeches, not laws, reminders, instructions for how to stay human. We still have them. We were never supposed to. The book we now call the Meditations was a private journal, a man arguing with his own worst instincts, and somehow it survived 2,000 years to land in your hands. And the first thing he tells himself again and again is this. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. It sounds bitter. It isn't. He finishes the thought. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil. They are not my enemies. They are my brothers. I cannot be harmed by any of them, and I cannot be made to feel anger toward them. Sit with what he just did there. He did not wait for people to disappoint him and then react. He expected it in advance, calmly, so that when the rude official or the scheming senator appeared, there was no shock, no spike of rage, just recognition. Ah, there it is. The thing I already knew was coming. Most of our anger is really just surprise. We walk around secretly believing that traffic should flow, that people should be fair, that the day should go as planned. And when reality breaks that quiet promise, we feel wronged. Marcus simply stopped making the promise. But he goes further. And this is where it stops being ancient and starts being uncomfortably about you. He writes, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about how much of your life you spend trying to control the outside. The opinion of someone who barely thinks of you, an outcome that was decided by a dozen forces you never touched, the past, which is closed, the future, which has not arrived. He would tell you gently that you are pouring your one short life into a lock that has no key. The Stoics had a word for the small space that is actually yours, your judgments, your choices, what you decide something means. A man insults you in the street. That is an event. Whether it wounds you, that is a judgment, and the judgment is yours. Marcus said it plainly. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. At any moment. Not after years of therapy, not once the situation finally changes. Now. The same morning he wrote those words, he had a war on his northern border, a plague moving through his cities, and a body that was failing him long before his time. This was not a comfortable man theorizing about hardship. This was a sick, exhausted ruler holding an empire together with discipline and breath. And that is why the reminder of death sat at the center of everything. You could leave life right now, he wrote. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Not to frighten himself, to clarify. When you truly remember that your time is finite, the petty grievance loses its grip. The grudge feels expensive. The need to be right feels small. What rises instead is a strange, quiet urgency to be good now, to be present now, because there is no infinite supply of mornings. Marcus Aurelius died on a cold frontier, far from home, still doing his duty. He never knew his private notes would outlive his empire. He wasn't writing for us. He was just a man trying every single day not to be ruined by his own power and his own mind. Which is the same fight you woke up to this morning. Smaller throne maybe, same war. So tomorrow, before the day takes you, try what the Emperor tried. Remind yourself that people will be difficult, that almost nothing outside you is yours to control, and that you will not be here forever. And then, with that strange calm settling over you, decide who you are going to be anyway.